All
What's
right,
going on,
everybody.
everybody? Nice, nice. We're back. You already know what it is. Welcome back. I know it's been a while, but we are back. The Curtain Call podcast in full effect. We got some new things going on, trying out some new things. And like always, I'm your boy, the Spanish Fly, right here on the Curtain Call podcast. And I have a new tag team partner. That's right. And I'm tagging him in right now so you guys can meet him. He can introduce himself. And his name is Nacho. Nacho, tell him a little bit about yourself, man.
What's up, everybody? My name is Nacho. I am pretty new to wrestling. I really only started last year at the Royal Rumble, but I watched a little bit when John Cena was still pretty big in his. I don't know. I was just telling the Spanish Fly that I started watching kind of when I was in middle school, and he had just introduced his green shirt look. So I know a little bit. I've been getting some history from the documentaries and everything on Peacock, trying to inform myself on all the past wrestlers and all their storylines. But yeah, I'm excited to start this journey and go into all the new stuff with you guys with the Spanish Fly.
Man, I'm excited to have you with me, Nacho. It's going to be a fun show because we have someone like myself that's been watching wrestling for over 40 some years. I'm not going to say the exact number because then people are going to be like, man, you're old. But I've been watching wrestling for a long, 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 long time. And then we got someone like you who knows wrestling, but has really gotten into it over the past year. And he's even, to all the audience and people watching, he's even gone back on Peacock and watched Attitude Era stuff, and he's getting into the Attitude Era. So I think that's pretty awesome. Nacho, we're gonna have some fun, man. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna knock this out the park. Stay tuned, because towards the end of the show, before we leave, he's gonna talk about all the upcoming things that we're gonna be doing, all the lives and the videos, and when to be expecting us, and how to follow us on all your social media platforms. So, Nacho, we're about to get into this 2024 Elimination Chamber review. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Let's go. We're going to start off with the prelims. In the prelims in Perth, Australia. I don't know how many of you woke up at 4:30 in the morning like me and my sons did, like Nacho and his brother did. Boy, were we up and ready to go. Over 50,000 people showed up in Perth at the stadium to watch the 2024 Elimination Chamber. And it started off with a women's tag team match for the tag team titles. We had the Kabuki Warriors going against Australia's own Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. Nacho, what'd you think about this match, man?
This match honestly took me by surprise because they announced it just a couple days before the actual event, and I feel like there wasn't really much build up to it. But I was excited for Indy because she is from Australia, so it was really nice to get to see her in her, like, I don't know if it's where was her hometown where it was at. I'm not sure where she's from. But it was really nice to see that the crowd at least gave her some recognition. They got a nice match before. I feel like both teams showed up and delivered, honestly, in this match. I didn't think we were going to see the Kabuki Warriors just lose their title, and surprise, surprise, we didn't. But I still thought it was a pretty good match and a nice opener to go into the actual Elimination Chamber.
You're absolutely right. It definitely was no build up to it. It was on the prelim, so I knew we weren't going to see a title change. But it was good to see that they had more than just Rhea Ripley from Australia on the card, which we'll get into in a second when we talk about the women's title match. But it was a good match. I thought it was a really good match. I thought Indy really did a great job. The stage was not too big for her. She really went out there. She did her thing. It was a solid match. They gave the Kabuki Warriors a lot and had the crowd pumping. It was a good way to start the show. So I thought it was a really good. I thought it was a solid match. But we knew we weren't going to get much. We knew we weren't going to get a title change. That's for sure. Well, I knew. I'm sure you knew, and I'm sure a lot of people felt the same way. But all around a good starter match, and we'll see what they do with Indy and Candice moving forward. And I'm hoping that they do something. I'm hoping that they get the way together. I'm hoping to see Dexter Loomis soon. we'll see. We'll see. But it was a good way to start off the show. The next match, we had the women's chamber match. So even though it's the next match, Nacho, it's actually the first match on the Premier Live event, the first one of the show. And I was hyped that they started this match. You know, first of all, I'm thinking that WWE knows the majority of our viewers are stateside. The ones that are up at 4:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, let's give them a banger to start off. And boy, did these women bring it. We had the women's chamber match. Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Liv Morgan, Raquel, and Tiffany Stratton. And we, first of all, tell me what you thought about the match. And then we're going to run down who was eliminated first, second, third, so on and so forth. But Nacho, the women's chamber match, what are your thoughts?
I think WWE has been cooking when it comes to these women-centered matches. We had the War Games match, we had the Rumble match, we had the Elimination Chamber match. And I feel like they have been doing a great job highlighting the women they have in it and giving each person an opportunity to shine. And they just stay interesting. Each match, I don't feel like I get bored at any point in it. They find ways to just everything that's getting thrown at you is something different, and it just keeps your intrigued the entire time. I thought that all the women did a great job. I was super excited because we had the return of Raquel Rodriguez at the last second battle to enter it, and she's one of my favorites currently on the roster because my cousin was formerly Raquel Rodriguez before she got married, so I got a sweet spot for that one.
Okay.
But then I went into it definitely thinking Becky was going to win just because of all the build-up she's had, and I was super, super, super excited to see what the actual turnout of the match. What did you think?
I thought it was a good match. I thought it was a good chamber match. And I'm going to tell you who my MVP of this match was, and that's Tiffany Stratton. Boy, did Tiffany Stratton show up. Now, I know what a lot of people are thinking. Well, Tiffany got eliminated second. But it was quite a bit of time before she got eliminated. And remember, she eliminated Naomi. She got the first elimination. So let's break down the order. We had Naomi go out first. Then we had Tiffany, Raquel, Bianca, and Liv. Of course, Becky Lynch winning the match. Now, check this out. There is a big women's wrestling move that really upsets me every time I see it. And it's that cartwheel, backflip, going into the elbow in the corner. I can't stand when they do that because when they do the move, it's like nothing. Unfortunately, one that comes to mind is Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke does that move, and it does nothing to me. Yeah. But when Tiffany Stratton does it, she throws herself in that corner. It makes the move so impact. I mean, it's like a boom. And it reminds me a lot of the great Muta used to do that a lot. And Tiffany Stratton has done an amazing job. And boy, did she step up in this chamber match. You know, there's something that the wrestlers say a lot, and it's you either you get over or you go over or you get over. Tiffany Stratton, she didn't go over because she didn't win the match, but she definitely got over because they were chanting her name when especially when Becky Lynch did that fall away slam up against the cage. When she did, when it looked so hard, and she ain't afraid to get hit. She's not afraid of taking a beating. When she did the spot off the top of one of the chambers, she was just amazing. To me, I think she's definitely the MVP of this chamber match. What do you think?
I think so too. I mean, that was one of the things that just kept this match going. Honestly, I think it was also a strong suit. They waited until was everyone in the ring or in the cage before they actually eliminated the first person, or was there still one more?
Yeah, everybody was in there. It was so like I said, a lot of people said, well, she got eliminated second. But the thing is, it took a while before that first elimination happened, or her elimination happened. A lot of things went on there, and if you remember correctly, I think she came in second, second out of the pods. So
Yep.
she put on a good performance, man.
Yeah. She had the crowd going too.
She really did. And when she got beat, when you hear that 1, 2, 3, they were like, oh, they were like really behind Tiff. It's, I don't know, man. I think all right, Nacho, I'm gonna say it, man. Next year for WrestleMania, Tiffany Stratton will be in title match.
Yeah.
I said it here first.
I wouldn't be surprised if she gets pretty far in the Money in the Bank, if not winning the Money in the Bank too.
So to all the viewers, everyone that's listening, Nacho and the Spanish Fly said it first here on the Curtain Call podcast. We believe that Tiffany Stratton next year will be in a title match at WrestleMania. Nacho thinks that she'll probably end up winning the Money in the Bank, and I agree with him. I completely can see that. I can see that happening, and I can see her possibly winning her first title at a WrestleMania. Man, that'll be amazing if that happens. Next match was the Tag Team Champions. The Judgment versus the New Catch Republic. I don't know how I felt about this match. It looks like Finn actually got injured on this match, a thumb. He showed up to Raw, had it taped up. I didn't feel from the jump that the New Catch Republic was going to win this match. I felt that Finn and Damian were going to retain. How did you feel about this match?
I thought it was okay. I feel like it started strong. I went into it thinking there was a chance that they could swap the titles because I thought it would be interesting for the Judgment Day storyline. Maybe take the titles off of them and they have to work their way back to it. I don't know. I just feel like it's gotten a little bit stale, and that would have been something to like spice it up before WrestleMania. They didn't end up taking the titles though, but I feel like the ending of the match felt really sped up and rushed. I feel like the actual pin and finish happened out of the blue. And I was kind of caught off guard when it actually happened. I don't know if it came off that way for you as well.
With Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, and I like Pete Dunne. I like Tyler Bate. I really like them as wrestling. The guys are really, really good. But to me, there's something. I feel like something is missing with this tag team.
Yeah.
The song doesn't do it for me. The name doesn't do it for me. Even though Michael Cole try to put into perspective what the New Catch Republic is, there's just something that's not quite there. And I don't know what it is or what can get them there, but I just feel that do you know what I mean? I feel like there's something missing with them, and that's why I felt like there was no way they were going to win the titles. And moving forward, I don't see that changing as far as them getting to the point where I could say, hey, you know what? They should be next in line for titles. And for me to think that it'll be R-Truth and The Miz that takes the titles off the Judgment Day at Mania, and not a serious tag team like Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, I don't know. Man.
I feel like there's no interaction with them. It feels almost like Pete is like the older brother to Tyler, and Tyler's just happy to be there. There's no interaction with them when they're actually out. Like I know they've done a couple promos backstage where they kind of interacted, but it just feels like they don't actually fit together in a way because
it's almost like a Riddle and Orton. It's almost like Riddle and Orton when they first started.
They just feel like they're there to be there and not actually be there together. Like they seem like they almost don't want to be together in a way. Like one of them seems like they want to be there, but the other one seems like they don't.
Yeah, and if you look at it, I mean, it came out of the match as well. You kind of felt that way in the match. And even though there were some moments where they put on some nice spots, I don't know. I felt like there was something really missing out of the match. The Judgment Day continues to win. some nice things with Dominic on the outside trying to get involved. Michael Cole had
Yeah, they
Pete
had to
dying.
censor the screen.
Yeah, they yeah. And I'm sitting there wondering. I wonder what's going on that they had to do that. And all of a sudden, when you sent me that text message, I was dying. And for those of you that didn't see it on X, they even showed some pictures. They had to black out the screen because it was like that whole front row was sticking their middle fingers up at Dirty Dom. And my goodness, is he over as far as people can't stand him? And I think it's
Oh yeah.
hilarious. But it was an okay match. Of course, Finn Balor being Finn Balor, like always, doing a great job. I really enjoy Finn Balor. I think he's probably one of the most unappreciated wrestlers in the moment, as far as well as some other wrestlers. But it was an okay match. The Judgment Day wins, they retain, they move on, and we'll see what's next for the Judgment Day. Now we had the men's chamber. Woo! The men's chamber. We had Mr. Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, Kevin Owens, LA Knight, Randy Orton, and Logan Paul. Huh? Logan Paul. What'd you think, Nacho?
First off, I wasn't happy to see Logan there. I'm a big Logan hater. So, I mean, I know he draws in the crowd, but personally, I can't stand the guy. So, immediately, he was my least wanted to win. But I went into this pretty much knowing who I thought would win. Ended up being true, but I still had a ton of fun with this match because of the I feel like some of the storylines that have been going on outside came in very well, a lot better than they did at the Rumble. And it played out really, especially with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens, to me, carried this match in the entertainment factor. I feel like he was just hilarious the entire time. When Logan walks in just to get in his chamber, he waves at him and he starts slamming his head on the chamber walls. When Bobby came in, he started doing the boxer. He was just I felt like he was having a ton of fun there, and it really made me have fun watching the match. And then to see Drew come in and take it away, I was really happy for Drew in that moment because as much as he's been going a little heelish, I understand where he's coming from, and I understand his reasons.
Yeah. Excuse me. One of my favorite parts in this match, there was a few spots that I absolutely loved. One of the ones was when LA Knight is beating up Drew McIntyre. He takes him over to Kevin Owens' pod, and he puts him up against that pod. And Kevin is just smacking, just forearming that pod and hitting and hitting and hitting Drew. And it was hilarious. And then the video that they released of Logan Paul, he's mic'd up. Each pod had a mic and a camera, and he's drawing with a Sharpie saying, "This is Kevin," and Kevin Owens is fat and
he wrote it backwards.
Kevin is an idiot or whatever, and he's pointing arrows and talking all this trash about Kevin. And then it cuts, and the next scene is Kevin Owens in his pod beating the bricks off him. Dude, I was laughing so hard. I loved it. It was amazing. And I knew I've been saying that it's gonna be Drew, it's gonna be Seth at Mania. Spoiler alert, I think Drew is gonna take the belt off Seth Rollins. And I was wondering, okay, they're gonna set something up. Logan Paul and LA Knight at Mania, or Logan Paul and Kevin Owens. And then the finish happens. And Logan knocks out Randy Orton with some brass knucks. And it looks like we might end up getting Randy Orton and Logan Paul at Mania for the United States title. What's your thought on this?
So I was right there with you. I was really hoping they would set up Logan and Knight because I feel like, especially coming off of his near victory at the Money in the Bank, I have been waiting for Knight to get his push to an actual title, because even though he had the push with Roman, we knew that wasn't going to go anywhere because it has to be Cody. So I feel like Knight, Randy, AJ, I feel like they have been kind of lost in a storyline stuck with Roman still. And so, I mean, if it gives Randy something to do, pairing him up with Logan, that's good. But I really wanted to see, I mean, I don't even remember when it was, but going back to when LA Knight had a promo against Logan, I think it was for Money in the Bank. He came up and he gave him a map to find where the prime bottles were to shove them up his butt, and I was like, that was good, and I thought that they worked well, bickering with each other, and
Yeah.
just to see them not even interact. I don't even think they threw any punches at each other in the entire chamber match. Really bummed me out.
Yeah.
And then Randy seemed like he was hurt for the entire match. It seemed like he tweaked his back and was on the ground most of the match.
Yeah. I when I saw that they did the spot where Randy is favoring the back, I said, okay, so this is the way Randy's gonna lose them. It's gonna be due to back injury, and but they'll end up finding something for him for Mania. When I saw that Logan Paul was eliminated and he wasn't taken out of the chamber right away,
Yeah,
my
the chamber
son
doors
said,
were open.
yeah, my son said, he ain't left yet. Keep an eye on him.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, yeah, he's gonna end up doing something wonky for this finish. And sure enough, man, when he knocked out Randy Orton, first of all, let's break this down. We had then LA Knight, then Kevin Owens, Logan Paul, and then Randy Orton. When he laid out Randy Orton and Drew gets the win, I'm happy for Drew in a way, in a sense, because when Drew was champion, man, first of all, he won that title in an empty, performance center. I mean, I know that's not how he envisioned it. So I want him to be able to get his moment. I think he's paid his dues and everything. But man, when they did that Randy Orton spot with Logan, I was like, I really don't want to see Logan Paul and Randy Orton. Logan Paul doesn't do anything for me. And here's the thing. He's a good talker, man. He trash talks. He's a good heel. He really is a good heel. And actually in the chamber, Nacho, he surprised me, man. And he actually earned a lot of my respect. Why? Because he took a beating, man. He really did take a beating. They made sure there was a Bobby hit him, Kevin hit him, Randy hit him. I mean, Bobby was sparing that. Bobby was hitting him hard. Kevin was hitting him hard. I mean, they weren't holding back. And I think they were, all right, you got to earn your dues. And I think he earned their respect in a sense. He went in there, he took his butt beaten, and he still performed very well. So, big ups to him. I'm not a fan of Logan Paul, but he is doing his thing. He really is. And to me, personally, when I look at outside people coming into the WWE, or they're from a different profession and they come up and they start wrestling and they win a title, to me, he's doing a lot better than Ronda Rousey in a sense where Ronda Rousey wins the title. She goes on a podcast, starts talking about how fake stuff is. He doesn't do that. He really respects it.
He went to the pawn shop.
Yeah, well, so, but I mean, I think I don't want to see the match at WrestleMania, but it looks like we might be getting Logan Paul, Randy Orton for the United States Heavyweight Championship. All right.
Yeah.
Now,
also,
you
want to talk about AJ coming back?
Absolutely. That was good. I like it. I like to see that. I want to see AJ involved in things. And of course, because AJ, to me, my opinion, he's probably one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Yep. That's the truth. He held titles everywhere he went. And 1 year, in a year span, he headlined an ROH, major pay-per-view. He headlined it, the Tokyo New Japan. He headlined. Um, then he had a match in WrestleMania. I mean, the guy has been there, done that, and for him to say, "Hey, this is my last contract. I'm not, after this, I'm not going to go to no other company. I'm not going to resign. I'm done." And then he signs an extension when Triple H comes into power, and he gets injured. But to see that his physique is amazing, his look is amazing. He got the beard rocking, and now he sets up a potential WrestleMania match with arguably one of the hottest baby faces in WWE right now in LA Knight. This is going to be a really good match. I think it's going to be a really good match and a potential to steal the show, whether it's on night 1 or night 2, because AJ Styles is that damn good. That's what I think.
I don't know. That was one of the things when I saw the door wasn't closing to the cage. I was like, something's coming, because last year I think it was Logan came because they didn't.
It was Logan that did.
Montez out.
Yeah. So, but it was good. It was good. It's crazy that he made a 20-hour flight to just make a 2-minute appearance, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. So crazy. Jet lag for 3 days to make a 2-minute appearance. But an impact he was going to make, an impact statement he did make. Now, we have the women's championship match. And boy, when Rhea Ripley came out against Nia Jax, that Australia crowd was popping for their girl.
Mm-hmm.
Their hometown girl, even though, she's, not from Perth, but she's from Australia. And they were going bonkers for her. Australia's own. I was like, wow, that's so amazing. And I went online to look while their match was starting. I was like, wow. And then I found out Nia Jax was born in Australia.
Yeah.
So I had a main event with 2 female wrestlers from Australia going at it. And the crowd was into it. They were popping. They were yelling the whole time on their feet. When the match is over, Rhea's celebrating. They get a shot of her mom, dad, or sister. I mean, the crowd is going crazy. Rhea just holding the title, screaming. You can see the emotion that she got. It's going crazy. The crowd's loving it. To me, the match was not good. It wasn't.
No.
I didn't like the match that much. I think Rhea Ripley is amazing. I think Nia Jax needs to go to NXT, in my personal opinion. I think she's a big girl. She has her power moves. But I think she needs to go to NXT. That's my personal opinion. I'm sorry. I could feel people just hearing this and going at it. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Hey, man, it's my opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I didn't think the match was all that good. I think the reason why the crowd was into it was because of Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley's a strong girl. She got Nia up. She did her thing. She won the match. She went in there. She did what she was supposed to do. She came out as champion. Now we're going to get what everybody's been wanting to see. Rhea Ripley against the man, Becky Lynch, at WrestleMania. But this match to set up for, for the show of the Immortals, this match didn't do much for me. Nacho, it didn't do much for me. What do you think, man?
I went into this match. Well, first off, it was after getting up as early as I got. At this point, I was starting to feel the tiredness hitting me. As much as I wanted to watch this match, I was getting hit with the tiredness. So I was really hoping that they would do something that would keep me up, keep me interested. But honestly, it wasn't doing that, and I was struggling to get through this match. I feel like Rhea was trying her best, and especially with feeling the energy from the crowd must have been crazy. but I feel like, and I went back and watched a couple clips, and I saw this. Nia just wasn't selling as great as she could have. I noticed a couple sells were really late, or there just was no sell at all, and it really just made the flow of the actual match just super choppy and just like drawn out almost. And I just feel like once it was done, the energy shifted back to what it started with and what it honestly should have carried throughout the whole match. And I also when she was celebrating with her family, this I don't know if you saw it. Some dude walked over and he was celebrating with her behind, like pointing at her, and
Yeah,
then he ran his hand through her hair and then got like
that
shoved
security
away.
guard showed up quick.
Yeah, the security guard popped up, and when he tried to come back over, he was getting pushed off the screen, which I was like, good, because I was like, why? Especially, I don't know why they didn't have guards to begin with around her family if she
Yeah,
was going to pop up there anyway. But honestly, the match I felt was really stale. Could have been better. Maybe if it was anybody else, maybe could have popped in. But I think for the most part, I'm at least glad Rhea retained. Got the moment she had. She actually got to show some emotion, which she rarely breaks character, but you could see the
rarely.
cracks forming. It was a little too much to hold back. So it was nice to actually see the person behind the character a little bit there and see how much it meant to her in that way. So
Yeah. I want to before we end off with the Elimination Chamber, I want to be able to put down what Dave Meltzer, the star ratings he gave, and I want you to tell me if you agree or disagree.
okay.
Okay, Nacho. Of course, Dave Meltzer giving his star ratings. I don't pay attention to them, but I found
Yeah.
this kind of interesting. Um, I have my own beliefs on the star rating system. But
Mm-hmm.
everybody should, do your own ratings. But I want to read you his ratings, and you tell me, Nacho, what you thought. Okay.
Okay.
Give me 1 second here. All right. So for the women's match, and I'm talking about the Elimination Chamber, he gave it 4.5 stars.
Okay.
What do you think?
That's out of 5.
Yeah, out of 5.
Okay. I think that's fair. I
Okay.
think, yeah, I think I would, for the most part, agree with
Four
that.
and a half. Okay.
Somewhere between 4 and 4.5.
Okay, for the tag match, the Judgment Day, he gave them a 4 star.
Mm. I would go either a 3 or 3.5 for that one. If maybe 3 for that.
I'm with you right there. So for the men's match, he gave it a 4.5 as well.
If I give the women's a 4.5, I would give the men's a 4. I think the
Okay.
women's just had a little bit more than the men's did.
Okay. For the Rhea Ripley match and Nia Jax, how many stars would you give it before I tell you what he gave? And be completely blunt, truthful, honest. Give it up.
I would, if I'm being generous, I would give it a 3 and keep it with the tag. But honestly, probably a 2.5.
Okay. I would give it a 2.5, 2.5.
Okay.
He gave it a 4 star.
I would agree with that. I don't know what match he was watching, but I can't agree with that one. It wasn't
Definitely
awful.
wasn't watching what we were watching, unless he was over there in Australia. He wasn't fighting the tiredness. Because you're right. When that match came on, first couple minutes, I was struggling. I was like, oh my goodness. I was
sitting in my
struggling.
chair.
And I took one big sip of my Then I took one big sip of my Starbucks coffee because by that time I had already went to Starbucks, and then I was back in the game. But it didn't do much for me.
No.
It didn't do much for me. But
mainly the intro and the finish.
Yeah, that was the rating that they gave him. All in all, The show in Australia was good. The Elimination Chamber was good in Australia. Perth looked beautiful. The pictures, the videos, the scenery that they were doing.
Yeah,
There
the
was one time that
sunset.
the camera panned out and you see the stadium and the city line, the skyline behind them, and you see the buildings off in the distance and the sunset going down. Gorgeous place. It
It's
looked
beautiful.
gorgeous. All in all, the Elimination Chamber 2024 was a great show, a great send off, getting us ready to roll right into WrestleMania. And I'm excited for WrestleMania. What were your thoughts about, all in all, the Elimination Chamber 2024? Nacho?
I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. I thought the matches were pretty predictable in terms of the outcome, but I thought that the people involved brought so much to it that it just kept it interesting for the most part, and fun to watch.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that is the recap for the Elimination Chamber. And that takes us into Monday Night Raw. First off, at the Elimination Chamber, we also had the Grayson Waller effect. The Grayson Waller effect, where his co-host, there you go. He had his co-host Austin Theory with him, and his guest at the Grayson Waller effect was Seth freaking Rollins, the World Heavyweight Champion, and the American Nightmare, Mr. Cody Rhodes. Both of them had great pops when they came out. Obviously, Cody's pop was a bit more because fans really get behind the "whoa" chant. Seth Rollins didn't stay far behind. People giving him his song. They get into the ring, they do their stick and everything, and right when Cody's about to reveal to us what The Rock whispered in his ear, Austin Theory takes the mic. He starts doing his thing, tells Cody it doesn't matter what he thinks and all that. Seth kind of pumps him up. Yeah, give it to him. Come on, let's go. Do your thing. Take off his shirt. Show your abs. He takes off his shirt. He goes to say, if you smell, and they grab him. And I thought the funniest thing is when they're about to throw him into the corner, he's still yelling, ah! And they beat him up. And something interesting happens. Grayson Waller, what does he do? He doesn't jump in. He actually sits back and watches it. I said, huh? Is he being a babyface for the crowd? And they go. That's the end of the segment. The show finishes. We go to Monday night. And what do we have? The main event of Monday Night Raw is going to be Grayson Waller versus the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Before we get to the main event, though, Nacho, take us through Monday Night Raw. Let's do the review and tell us what's up, man. Let's go through this.
To open the show, I thought it was really great. Coming off the heels of Elimination Chamber, they had Rhea come right out with Dom, and the pop she got at the show it definitely wasn't as big as it was in Perth, but the crowd gave her what she wanted.
Absolutely.
And then to follow that, she had Becky on to give us a little bit of a promo going into their journey into WrestleMania. One of my favorite parts about this promo, the whole time, Dom is like a little kid that's being dragged through the store, and his mom is talking to his teacher because he's yawning. He's like biting his nails. He's doing whatever he wants to do in the corner, and they keep panning to him, and I'm like, this dude is he's amazing without even trying.
He really is. He really, really is. And he's so entertaining. And you know what? I'm a Rey Mysterio fan. Rey wasn't that entertaining like that. Not at all. Man, Dom really is entertaining. The fans love to hate him. I thought it was good, though. It was good to see Becky. It was good to see Rhea standing there. Hopefully things get a little bit more hotter. Because it felt like it was a little We needed a little jump start. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, I
So
think Becky
hopefully
needs a
things
bit
get
more
hotter
fuel.
as we get closer to Mania.
I think something needs to happen behind the scenes with Becky, or even like there needs to be a more of a drive than just the title for Becky to take it from her. They need to like
Yeah,
attack her or something backstage, give her a reason to have the revenge that she wants or something like that.
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm down with that. Yep. What's next, man?
And then we had Nia Jax come out and interrupt the segment to attack Becky.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. At this point, I mean, I don't know. With Nia, at this point, she shows up whenever she wants. She attacks somebody and she ends up sitting on them. If you like that, you like it. If not, she's there.
I'm telling
I
you,
don't know how you
Naya's
feel about her.
he's not doing it for me, man.
No,
She really isn't. Although Monday she had a good match. It's
she did.
weird.
She had a good match.
I just talked about how she didn't have a good match on Saturday, but Monday she had a decent match.
I think
She
it's
really
because
did. She actually did pretty good.
I think the size difference because Liv is so small
Uh
and
huh.
she's pretty tall and pretty big. I feel like that is what carried it because Liv was doing some crazy moves.
Crazy things. And
But
it
before we
was
get
that outside the ring spot a couple times, really good, man, really good. And
oh yeah,
it was kind of interesting because obviously, at the end of the match, you had Becky Lynch. Right before the end of the match, Becky Lynch interferes in the match. That's how the match stops. Obviously, Liv doesn't get the victory because Becky interfered. Um, Becky, does her thing, beats up Nia and everything. They go off. When they come back and they go to the backstage segment with Becky Lynch and they're talking to her,
mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden Liv Morgan comes up and was like, "Hey, man, not everything revolves around you."
Yeah,
And you could see the frustration on Liv's face. I'm wondering if this is going to be a turning thing for Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan became champion. The fans were much, much, much behind her. But since she's been out for a while, um, injury plus a little issue that she had with the law,
mm-hmm.
and now she's back since Rumble, and then she loses in the chamber match, and then she gets her title, or she gets her rematch at her singles rematch against Nia Jax, and she felt like she was holding her own. And to have Becky come in and then Becky interferes and cost Liv the match, it looked like Liv was kind of upset. I'm
she was
wondering,
really mad.
yeah, I'm wondering if Liv interferes somehow in this match. And if she does, do you see where she can cost Becky her title match at Mania? And that means Mommy always ends up on top. She'll retain her title. What do
Maybe.
you think, man? What do you think?
I think if they do that and they play out that route, I think that we're not going to see Tiffany win Money in the Bank. I think we're going to get Liv winning Money in the Bank again, and she's going to cash in on Rhea. Because Liv, that was one of the things I was thinking about when I was just talking about how Becky doesn't really have that fire lit under her right now. She won, but she doesn't have like a reason except for wanting to be on top. I feel like Liv has that. She has the revenge story that she wants right now. She got taken out by Rhea. She. I feel like she has more of a reason to want to win. So I definitely think if she gets involved somehow costs Becky, I think she could be a strong contender to be Miss Money in the Bank and then eventually go on to fight Rhea that way.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. It's
Yeah.
going to be very interesting to see what happens with Liv Morgan as we move closer and closer to WrestleMania. What else we got, man?
Following that up, we had an excellent match with Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura. I don't know how you feel about Sami Zayn, but every time he comes out and his song comes on, you see the crowd stand up and on that "Let's go!" Everybody does that. That warms my heart. I don't know if it's just because when I first started watching, it was the Royal Rumble, so it was coming out of that. going towards the build up to Mania when he was trying to get Kevin to come back. He was trying to break apart the bloodline. So every week that SmackDown would come on, it was what's going to happen to Sammy? What's going to happen to Sammy? That built up a lot of love in my heart for Sammy. And every time he comes out, it just makes me so happy. And especially now, after all of this, he's been losing, like loss after loss after loss. To see him finally win one, you could see he was shaking with excitement and just he was like punching the ground because he was so excited to finally have a victory, finally have a reason to build himself up towards something. It was fantastic in my eyes.
I think Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura, they put on a performance every time they have gotten in the ring with each other. I love Shinsuke Nakamura. I think Shinsuke Nakamura is amazing. And boy, when Sami Zayn gave him that Helluva kick in the corner, if you watch that, there was no put your hand up to your face and let the hand take the brunt of it. Shinsuke took that kick flush right on. I like what they're doing with Sami Zayn. You don't know if he's the one that's gonna go on to WrestleMania. He's trying to find his way to go to WrestleMania. But you and I had spoke about this. He was on the list of one of the ones that we thought that could beat Gunther for his WrestleMania moment. You know, we're on board with Chad Gable. We're on board with him. That's who we want to see. Sami Zayn could be that guy. But you know what, Nacho? I would have preferred if Sami Zayn would have lost yesterday. It would have made the story a lot more interesting. Where does he go from here? What happens now? Yeah. But he wins. He beats Shinsuke Nakamura with a beautiful Helluva kick. You can see the emotion in him. The crowd goes crazy. He's in the ring. He's pumped. You know, he did it. Then he goes to the backstage, and he has a backstage segment, and Imperium comes up. Yep. And you see Gunther looks at him and just laughs at him and walks away, and it made me say, this is it. Mm-hmm. This is it. It's going to be Sammy and Gunther. And then Imperium comes out, and I don't know if you've had this next on the slides, but Imperium comes out, Gunther starts talking, the Judgment Day comes out, and then Dom is talking about, no, that title is going to come home with us, and I'm going to take it off of you. I do not want to see Dominic and Gunther at WrestleMania. I don't want to see two heels go at it. That's not what I want to see.
I can see that being like next week's Raw or like 2 weeks down the line, that's Raw or something, but no. That's not going to be that.
So then when this happens, you know, you get Damian gets kind of irate with him, all upset. They got to hold him back. He calls him a bobo lobo, you know, a bum. And they're taking him out the ring. Then there's something happens. There's a backstage segment, and they're telling Dom, hey man, you better rethink this. You know, this guy could chop the soul out of you.
Yeah.
And Mommy comes up. She's not happy that Dom did that. She looks a little concerned. She wasn't throwing her weight around like she usually does. She looked concerned. Like a concerned mommy came up to him and was like, what are you doing? You can't do this. And he said, don't worry, mommy, I got to take care of it. She said, well, I hope so. You better. And she walks out, and they tell him, hey, man, you got to go fix that with mommy. And he leaves, and who does he run into? Andrade Cien Almas. Andrade Cien Almas. I want to see Andrade do something.
Yeah, I'm wondering what they're going to do with him. He's been there since the Rumble.
And he's been backstage. But every time I see Andrade, I think of Alberto Del Rio, the way Andrade carries himself and his flow and everything. But we don't know if he's a babyface. We don't know if he's a heel. What are they going to do with Andrade is the question. And also, the main thing, what do they do with Gunther? Who is going to face Gunther? And I think we got a clip of that. I think we got a hint of what was happening. And I want you to tell me your thoughts when you saw Chad Gable in the back talking to Adam Pearce.
All right, first I'm gonna put up the picture of what Chad Gable tweeted out. I don't know if it was last night or earlier. I think it was last night, right after his appearance.
Uh-huh.
Ever since I started
zoom in
watching,
a little bit.
yeah. So ever since I started watching WWE at the Royal Rumble last year, two people caught my eye. And that was Chad Gable and Otis, the Alpha Academy.
You've
When
been a
I
fan
saw
of them,
them in the Rumble, when I saw them in the Rumble, instant attachment. So anytime they're on, I'm drawn in. If I hear that they're going to be just on for like a backstage segment, I don't care what I'm doing. My attention is fully on the TV anytime they're on. So when Chad Gable shows up, I'm not even kidding. I didn't register anything that happened before because, like right before that segment, because I just saw Chad and I wanted to hear what was next for his storyline. He goes in and talks to Adam and begs for a rematch. He says, I got the fire lit under me. I got my win. I got my win against Ivar last week. I proved to you that I can do this. Please give me a rematch, because most of these people that have been going around challenging Gunther, wanting a rematch, or starting all this conversation, want it just because they want the gold. I have a reason, because he laughed at my crying daughter in my family sitting in the front row, and I swore to God that I would make him pay for that. Chad has been doing so much, especially before his fight with Gunther. Those fights were some of my favorite fights. His last match with Gunther, I was standing and pacing for the entire thing. And to hear that there's a chance that we're going to get the rematch at Mania has me more excited than anything that's been going on in wrestling. And you may look at that as, really? The Rock's back, Cody's having his story possibly being finished, and all you can think about is Chad. Give the little man a chance to shine, okay? He's been working with the Academy. They've got their own thing going, but give him his time to shine. I feel like if Gunther is ready to pass on the title, you have so much going on with Chad. He's a small guy that can be put up against big opponents and still can deliver. I feel like as much as I would love to see Sammy with some gold, Sammy getting good title matches, I think it's time for Chad to have his moment. I don't know how you. What do you think about that?
It's a strong statement what you said. It really is. And with Chad Gable being the one to you want to dethrone Gunther at Mania, it's strong, because there's bigger names out there that can do that. Take the title off of Gunther, Sammy being one of them, Kevin obviously being another, although he's on SmackDown. There's some names out there. But after hearing that promo on Monday, it's hard to argue with you, Nacho. It made me want to see Chad Gable be the one to dethrone Gunther. And let me tell you, man, I'm tired of people talking about the size and stuff like that. That's what makes this even better. Because I remember when Rey Mysterio beat the Big Show. There was a size difference there. They told a great story. And he's been sitting and boiling on this. That Gunther made his daughter cry. That Gunther told him, hey, you're a bad father. And he's been sitting on that for months. It's been eating at him. The video that he posted on X, it's been eating on him what Gunther has done, has said. But I think it's going to be Chad Gable. And I wouldn't be surprised if they try to do a fatal four-way or a three-man dance or whatever you want to do, something like that. I don't care how they do it. I don't care if they got 5 guys in the ring, all of them trying to beat Gunther. I don't care how they do it. They're going to put the strap on Chad Gable. Chad Gable needs to pin Gunther or make him tap. It can't be that Chad Gable beats, let's just say, Sami Zayn in the match, because it's a 3-way. He wins the title like that, and Gunther never loses, so he has a claim saying, well, I've never been beaten for my title. I want my rematch. It has to be that Chad Gable is the one that puts the ankle lock on Gunther, and right there in Philadelphia outdoors, you see Gunther tap, and his reign as Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion is over. But it has to be Chad Gable. It has to be a pin, and it has to be a tap out. It can't be that he does it to anybody else. That's my opinion, but I'm with you all the way, Nacho. I want Chad Gable and Gunther at WrestleMania. The original plan supposedly was going to be Brock and Gunther. I want Chad Gable and Gunther. He reminds me of Mr. Olympic hero himself, Kurt Angle. I'm telling you, this could be the moment where Chad Gable goes from here to superstardom, because I definitely believe that Chad Gable is more than capable of not only holding the United States title, the Intercontinental title, but he definitely could hold the major title. And I'm talking about whether it be heavyweight champion or undisputed universal champion. I think Chad Gable could be that guy if you just give the guy a chance, because, man, the guy can work. So I'm with you all the way. I'm on that bandwagon. Chad Gable at WrestleMania beating Gunther for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. That's how I feel.
I saw somebody theorizing maybe night 1 of WrestleMania. This is a stretch, because I don't know how much they've done this in the past, but it would be double booking if they have 2 nights. Maybe night 1 is like a 5-man battle. You got Chad, Bronson, Sammy, and a couple other guys thrown in there. Whoever wins, Gunther's waiting night 2 to take him on for the title.
I like that.
I could see that, or maybe even on Raw on that Monday having a battle, something to give them time. I don't know how much they double book in the past, but I would be there for it. Especially, it would give people spots on the card for Mania. People would get Mania spots without having to be in other matches for stuff. So you would get more people on the card, and then whoever wins would get to go on to face Gunther, maybe take his title.
I think the last time they did a double booking was when Daniel Bryan won. When he became heavyweight champion, the Yes Movement. Remember, he ended up beating Triple H to get into the main event against Randy Orton and Batista.
Was that what people were comparing the Cody movement to?
The what movement?
The Cody movement?
No, that was,
where like they changed it a little bit. People thought that they changed Cody, where it was originally Rock versus Roman, because of all the backlash online.
No, this was when Daniel Bryan won the world title at WrestleMania. But it's interesting you brought up Cody, because that was one of the things I want to talk about. My fear is that they're going to end up doing something like that, a double booking for Cody at Mania.
Yeah,
I just have this feeling that he's going to somehow fight The Rock, and then somehow the next day fight Roman, and I don't want to see that. I don't know why they. I don't know if it's The Rock that's trying to get into Mania so bad, but I don't want to see that, man. I don't know. But back to the subject before I don't want to get off topic. I think that it should be that picture right there that you're showing right now. That should be match at Mania. and it needs to be Chad Gable to beat Gunther at Mania. What's next, man?
We're gonna backtrack a little bit.
Yep.
To earlier in the show, we had Chelsea Green come out, and the pop for Chelsea right now was pretty big as well. When her Chelsea Green, when that comes on, the whole crowd is loving it. She has a great promo. They need to give her the mic more because she had a great promo on the crowd. Just talking about the crowd. I think the whole time she was talking, as much as I love Raquel Rodriguez, when her music hit, I was like, I want more promo. I want more Chelsea.
Yep. I enjoy Chelsea, especially after watching some of her interviews that she has given on other podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea Green really is. She's doing her thing. She really, really is. And I'm wondering what they're going to end up doing with her. I think maybe after Mania she gets a push. I see her almost in the same way they pushed Carmella was around that time as well. That right after Mania they started pushing Carmella until eventually Carmella ends up, winning a title. And I know Chelsea's not all about winning titles. That's not what she's about. She's about creating moments.
Yeah.
But there's gonna come a time where the fans are so much behind her because of that. The whole gimmick that she does. They're getting behind her that it won't be ignored anymore. And WWE is gonna have to put a title on her. At least give her moment. So but yeah, I'm with Chelsea Green. Amazing.
So we had her. She was talking about how she was filing a complaint because of she got her moment stolen from her by Raquel. She was filing a formal complaint on the staff, and then Raquel's music hits. Raquel walks out, and we basically have a bit of a squash match.
Yeah, it definitely
it's great
was
to see Raquel back, but yeah, definitely a squash. I don't know if you've heard anything. I also noticed that Piper Niven has not been there for a couple shows. I think.
Yeah, I don't know if she's gotten injured. I haven't read anything. But yeah, I haven't seen or heard of Piper Niven. They haven't even mentioned her on TV.
No.
It's kind
she
of
wasn't in. I don't think she was in the Rumble. Maybe she was in the Rumble. Maybe it was the last time we saw her.
Yeah,
but she wasn't in like the battle or anything. So I don't know where
she was. She wasn't in anything building up to the women's chamber match. So I don't know. Maybe. It's a good question. See what happens.
Yeah. Following that up, we had Imperium versus the New Day in a street fight. What did you think about this match?
Yes. Talk about hard hitting. Yes. I was all for it, man. The New Day was on it. They were swinging them kendo sticks. Did you see the way Giovanni Vinci? Did you see the way his back looked? And also
both of their backs.
Yeah, both of their backs were just cut up. I mean, beaten. But when they grabbed them kendo sticks to Luther Geyser and they started beating him in that ring and beating him, when Kofi threw the chair at his face, you got the pictures right there. My goodness, these guys went ham on each other. I mean, back and forth, through tables. I mean, hitting, kicking. You could hear the smacking. It was a very, very, very hard. Giovanni Vinci, when him and Xavier Woods are in the ring, Giovanni hits the ropes and he's hitting the ropes super fast, and then he just throws his body into Xavier Woods. My goodness, man. It was a good match. It was such a good match. And it had nothing to do with tag titles or anything like that.
Nope.
It's just two tag teams that know how to turn it up, that know how to put on a great performance, had the crowd pumping, yelling, "This is awesome." Michael Cole had to acknowledge on set what they were yelling and how right they were in saying that this is an awesome match. It was a very, 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 very good match. And for all that to come down, and at the end, that's when you go ahead and get Imperium to win the match. Very, very well booked. Very, very solid match. I enjoyed the match a lot. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. They even, I mean, with all the stuff going on with the chairs and the tables, they found ways to tell a story and bring back moments because they had injuries from Imperium with the chairs, and they got to throw the chairs back at them. They had all this different stuff that was callbacks to this whole entire rivalry, but still made it fun. And still, like you said, it didn't have to be about a title to be interesting. You had the end. I don't know if it was the end, but it seems like the end of this saga that's been going on for weeks of these teams going back and forth to each other. And I just thought it was a ton of fun.
Yeah,
especially for like a mid card.
Very good match. Very good match.
Then we had. What'd you say?
What else we got?
We had Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark versus I can't even think of their names right now.
Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae.
That's right.
And you know what? You know what? I have a problem with this, and I'm jumping in right away. I'm not even going to wait for you to ask me what I thought about this, because we just talked about how Indy and Candice had a great performance over there in Perth, Australia. They had a great performance even though they lost. And then they turn around and they just get beat up by... It bothers me. It really bothers me. And like you said, same match every week. I'm tired of seeing it. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Starks don't do anything for me. They're another two names that I could put on that list. They don't do anything for me. They're great performers. Zoe Starks is an amazing wrestler. Amazing wrestler. Shayna Baszler is really good at what she does. But together they don't do anything for me. There's no flavor in this tag team. None whatsoever. There's no flavor. And the WWE is notorious for doing this, putting two women that are great as singles wrestlers, and they put them together and they make this tag team. And eventually these women will probably be tag team champions. And they don't have music together. They don't have matching attire. They're two singles wrestlers that are wrestling with each other. That's it. And it does nothing for me. I didn't like the match at all. I think Indy and Candice LeRae are an actual tag team, and I don't feel that they're being booked properly. I think that they should be getting more love than what they get. But Zoe Starks, an amazing singles wrestler. Shayna Baszler, a former champion, an amazing singles wrestler. She had so much momentum after she did that turn on Ronda Rousey, and then they throw her into a tag team. It does nothing for me. I'm sorry, Nacho. I'm not a fan of it. I'm kind of upset. I don't even want to say anything else about it. The floor is yours. You can tell me what you thought about it, man.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm right there with you. I feel like I said, we've been having this match over and over again for the past couple of weeks. Usually, although it is usually at the end of the episode, and it's like 5 minutes without even their intros, because they do their intros in the commercial because they throw it right before the main event. They at least gave it a little bit more time this week, but still, especially coming off of the heels of their match in Perth, they should have not given Indy and Candice basically a squash match.
That's exactly what it was. It basically was a squash match. If they just got done wrestling in Perth and they put on a great performance against the women's champion, against the women's tag team champions, a great performance, took them to the limit. Yeah. Then they come back and they get squashed. I know what people are going to say. Yeah, but it just shows you how great Shayna Baszler and Zoe Starks are, that they're gonna challenge the women's champions, and if the women tag team champions couldn't take care of Candice LeRae and Indy as fast as they did, and I understand all that. but they basically had no offense in them. They have very few offense. And it bothered me because it was like you said, it was a little longer squash match. And I have an issue with that. And I wasn't a fan of it. If I can say one bad thing that I saw on Raw, I would have to put that up there. In my opinion. That's my opinion. And I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
Did you see their backstage segment after for Indy and Candice?
I did not. I not at that time. I saw it afterwards on X.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, it seems like they're fed up with their constant losing. It seems like they're gonna try to, at least Candice is gonna try to get them a push. We'll see what comes from that. I don't know. I feel like
and the thing
that
is,
whole match just seemed, yeah.
To me, you cannot split up Candice and Indy.
No.
Because Candice on her own and Indy on her own, they're going to get lost. You'll see them on main event. That's the truth.
Yeah.
But if you gave, and I'm drawing a blank on their name, the ones that lost the titles to the Kabuki Warriors, they used to be in NXT.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. If you gave them that they're small and they can wrestle, you gave them the titles, and they're nowhere near as talented as Indy Hartwell, looking like a female version of Razor Ramon when she's in that ring.
Yep.
And Candice LeRae, who is not afraid to do things like the men do. I mean, I've seen her in what was it? When she had the match against the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks put the thumbtack shoe on and super kicked her. Or when she fought Cedric Alexander in an independent show. She is not afraid to go, even with men. So she's a great wrestler. You put the titles on these other girls, but you can't give these women a push. There's something, I'm missing something. I'm missing something. And the other two women that I drew a blank on their name because I really don't, every time they come on, I end up going and doing something. I don't watch their matches. You gave them the title and they're nowhere near as good as Indy and Candice.
They're fresh off the NXT roster, right?
Yeah. They were literally there, a cup of coffee, and all of a sudden they become women's tag team champions. Even though there were transitional champions, they didn't have the titles long, but still, you gave them a push and they won. Man, I'm not for it, man. I'm telling you, I don't like it. I don't like it. What else we got? Because I could talk all day on that, on how great.
Well, yeah,
great
follow that
segment.
up with greatness.
Woo, my goodness.
We got Drew McIntyre coming out to talk about his match at Elimination Chamber and build himself up. He came out, he was basically spitting gold. Every time Drew comes out, he is incredible on the mic because he draws off of everything around him. He makes relevant points. He pays attention to what the fans are talking about and pulls that into his promos and delivers the most incredible promotions. He sat there like CM Punk after he talked about how he blew his eardrum out during the match and made it seem like the doctors were going to pull him and he was going to have to not go on to face Seth. And he goes, I'm not CM Punk. I'm going to be doing this. He sits down like CM Punk in his promo, crisscross applesauce, and delivers a speech. And afterwards, basically just invites Seth out he's like, I'm done. I've done everything I want here. What do you have to add to the conversation? What did you think? What did you think about this incredible, yet another incredible Drew promo?
So good. He's lately everything he does is gold. When he crossed his legs and sat down, and then he tells the cameraman, "Don't record up my skirt, you perv." Oh my! He, it, Drew's doing the best stuff he's ever done, in my opinion. He has gotten so much better on the mic. He's always been a great wrestler. He's always brought it. But man, since especially since the CM Punk stuff, man, he's been on fire. If you just go to his X account and go through his timeline, he has some of the best. This is you're going to find from any wrestler. And the crazy part about all this, when you hear his complaints, they're valid.
Yep.
They're valid. And that makes a dangerous heel. Yeah. Because he's not complaining about just anything. He's complaining about the injustice that has happened to him, and it's valid. And the things that he has come out and said, when he's talking to Seth Rollins, Nacho, I don't know if you picked this up. He's talking to Seth Rollins, and he's telling him, yo, get your head out of the bloodline stuff. Leave it alone. Because what's going to end up happening is they're going to interfere in our match, and I want my win to be a valid one. He threw that in there. He was basically telling him, look, I'm going to beat you, but I want to make sure that when I beat you, there's no asterisk because the bloodline got in there. So I need you to get out the bloodline's business. I'm telling you.
Mapping out his victory.
He really is.
He's painting the picture. And he's like...
There's no promo with him. He's not being written a promo. They're telling him, go out there and go for it.
Yep.
And he's been amazing at this. And then you see him, he's talking to someone, he's showing his concerns, and right when you think he's about to say something loving, boom, he flips it around and smacks you in the face with it. And you're like, dang. He's doing great work. That's one of the reasons why I feel that on the 6th or the 7th, it'll be the first night, the 6th of April, when that show goes off the air at WrestleMania, night number 1. It's going off the air with Drew McIntyre standing on one of the corner turnbuckles, doing his pose, because he's won the World Heavyweight Championship. I think Drew goes to WrestleMania. I think Drew becomes champion. I think he's been doing some of his great works, and that's all wonderful. It's like you said, when he said, the doctors told me I might not be able to make it to WrestleMania. And I told him, hey, who do you think I am? CM Punk? Oh my gosh. It was so good. He's going to win the title. He's going to be heavyweight champion. Give Seth Rollins his break. And get ready. Because SummerSlam, I believe, is when we're finally going to see Drew and Punk. I really do. And hey, by the way, there's rumors going around that, I don't know if people know this, but SummerSlam might be coming to Cleveland, Ohio. And if it does, Nacho, we're going to Cleveland this summer for SummerSlam. But he's doing some great work, man. He's doing great work. You tell me.
I do want him. I want him to bring back the sword. I miss the sword. Because when he walks out and his beat hits and he just goes, ah, I'm like, you he could do something else. I miss him just pumping the sword in the air,
But
especially
you know
like
what, man? I'm liking the fact that he's changing everything, Nacho. He's changing. If you look at it, he's changing everything. He's. I like this Drew.
I love
And then
Drew. He's
of
awesome.
course, there are those that are saying, "Hey, what about his contract?" Well, I did some reading about an hour before we came on live.
Mhm.
What he did was he signed an extension through and after WrestleMania.
Okay.
It doesn't say how long exactly the extension is, but there's some reporting that him and WWE are super close to working something out. And there are other outlets that are saying that Drew McIntyre and WWE are very far from agreeing on negotiations. Here's my thought process on it, because I'm not going to get into all the BS and everything like that. I'm going to think positive. I'm hoping that something gets done, obviously, but I'm here to let all the fans know. I don't want to hear no one say that Drew McIntyre is going to be better off in AEW. And let me tell you why. And here's the point that the Spanish Fly is going to vent. Nacho, I have an issue with that. Because every wrestler, every single former WWE wrestler, except for the name of John Moxley, Dean Ambrose, has done nothing in AEW as far as championship material.
Yeah.
You could say Chris Jericho, okay, that's fine. But everyone else, when Miro left, all the fans were saying, Miro's going to be champion. He's going to show them why WWE wasn't doing the right thing with him, and he's going to become champion. Miro, nope, not a world champion. He did the same. He won a secondary title. And then what happens? You don't even see Miro on TV. At least in the WWE, he was on TV. Miro ended up going on Dark or Rampage. Didn't do anything. Edge leaves. Oh, he's going to be champion. He's just been in a feud with Christian. That's it. Not even sniffing nowhere title, nothing like that. Nothing. And then he gets hurt again. I'm telling you, there is an issue with AEW fans that need to wake up and be realistic. Not every wrestler that leaves the WWE, Andrade, not every wrestler that leaves the WWE and goes to AEW is going to be a world champion. It's not happening. Drew will not do well in AEW because there is no one there for him. And you could say, this is a marquee match. There isn't. I'm sorry. There isn't. And I like AEW, but I'm also a realistic person. And realistically, the best move for Drew is to stay in the WWE. And I believe that they'll end up getting this worked out and figured out and all that and do what's right, because Drew is possibly one of the best performers in the company. And since recently, he's probably one of the best heels in the WWE right now. Yeah. That when he talks, it's not complaining. He's talking and it's making sense, and he has a point. Nacho, tell me, man. Tell me I'm not crazy, please. Tell me what your thoughts are.
Yeah. You're totally right in that. And I mean, even to back up your point about AEW, look at Dolph Ziggler. Look at Matt Riddle. Look at, what was his name? Ali?
Mustafa Ali, yeah.
Mustafa Ali. All three are champions on different programs right now. World champions on different programs right now.
Yep.
Within weeks of signing to them. But then you have somebody like, I don't know who would
Daniel
pop into
Bryan.
AEW. Daniel Bryan. Or Bryan Danielson, formerly known as Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
he's on and off injuries. I don't know when. I don't think the whole time I've been watching, he's even held a title.
It's
So
it's crazy. It really is crazy.
yeah, Drew has me excited, especially. So as much hype as I had when Sammy and Kevin won the titles, the build up before that was so big, and as soon as they won it, dropped. They just got lost, and then eventually they lost their titles to Judgment Day. The build up that Drew has right now, I feel like the way that his character is, the way his promos are going, he will be able to hold that because his stuff isn't storyline driven. It's not like tied to one specific person he's going after. He is fighting his own problems. He's fighting his own demons, but they're ones that people can relate to. And so once he eventually gets that title, people will be coming after him, and he will find ways to still be justified in keeping that, or defending it, or not letting them get it. And I'm excited to see how far he can take this heel character and what all will come of it. Because we still have Sheamus coming back at some point.
That's the scary thing. Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what all could come from Drew.
Absolutely. What's next, bud?
All right, going forward, do you want to touch back on this? We touched kind of on it at the beginning, the Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan.
Nia Jax
interference.
I said she had a really good match. The match was actually a really good match, my opinion. But that being said, I don't know what they do with Nia from here. I don't know. I don't know if she's going to try to get herself involved in that Becky Lynch match at Mania. But I think that Liv is the one that we need to watch out for.
Yeah.
She ain't happy. She ain't happy, Nacho. And a lot of people like Liv. A lot of fans are behind Liv. So we'll see what happens.
I'm interested if they're going to do anything with Liv and Raquel because they were the tag champions for a little bit. I thought they were a pretty good tag team, but they did throw hands a little bit in the chamber.
They did. Oh, and throw hands did they? They did throw hands, and it was good to see too. I like the way that Michael Cole is acknowledging more of these things.
Yeah,
I don't know. Ever since Vince's departure from the WWE, is it just me, or is Michael Cole really out there free? And when you have Pat McAfee with him, he just gives Michael Cole like this extra added energy. And Pat McAfee is gold on the mic too.
Yeah,
he's so good on the mic. So
one thing to touch on that, just because I forgot about it with the Drew had one of the most risky tie-ins to some of the controversial topics that have been going on. He threw out that he wanted to pee on whoever wanted to get in his way, and Pat was hot on that mic with a what? As soon as it got quiet, perfect, and then Drew kept going, didn't even pay attention. That was so good. That honestly had me crying. When I heard that, I started crying, and I missed some of the stuff that came after that because it was so good. And Pat's timing was so on point. Like any person, he was the crowd at that point. What did he just say?
Yeah, I think you can see where WWE is headed to, especially when they did the picture of that Michael Cole took a picture of Pat McAfee in the back talking to Gunther, and it says, oh, look at him, Pat McAfee's kissing Gunther's ass and stuff like that. And they kept going forward. And you could kind of see where the WWE is headed to when they go to Netflix, because it's been reported that Netflix doesn't want a PG product.
Yeah.
Netflix wants the edginess of WWE. And in my opinion, no one does it better when it comes to edginess than the WWE. So it's exciting to see where they're going with it. they've talked about, that the whole Monday Night Raw feel is going to be felt completely different in 2025, with a new set and a new rampway and just so much stuff. But I really can't wait to get to that moment, because I don't like to see wrestlers being put in handcuffs when it comes to their promos. I like for them to be real with it. And when Drew McIntyre said that, you could tell that wasn't something that was written for him. That was off the cuff. And I think sometimes your best promos is off the cuff. Just give me some bullet points of what you want me to say. Hey, you got a match at WrestleMania. You're going to be fighting Seth Rollins. Make sure you say something about his clothes. And he gets out there and makes it his own. It's what they used to do to Stone Cold Steve Austin. When he won the King of the Ring, he had been taken away because he had a cut on his lip. He had to get stitches. When he came back, they were like, hey, your next match is Jake the Snake Roberts. He cut a promo about John 3:16, and that's it. He goes out there, he beats Jake the Snake Roberts, becomes King of the Ring. He goes to the promo and he says, you thumble to you talk about your Bible, you talk about your Psalms, you talk about your John 3:16. Well, Austin 3:16 says, I just whooped your ass. And all of a sudden, bam, it was his gimmick for the rest of his career. Amazing. And I think that wrestlers are more. There are definitely certain wrestlers that you got to write their stuff.
Yeah.
There's definitely certain wrestlers you got to write their stuff. But man, when you give them the liberty and the freedom to go out there and just do what they do, man, you can get gold.
Yeah.
That's when you said earlier, everything that comes out of his mouth has been gold lately. Nacho, Drew McIntyre is that guy. He is that guy. And man, I can't wait to see CM Punk comes back.
Yep.
What else we got, brother?
To close off the show, we had an awful lot of time going into our main event. It was pretty built up to be Cody Rhodes versus Grayson Waller. And if you think, going into this match, I was like, what is going on with this? Because even according to EA's game scores, Cody Rhodes is like 20 points higher than Grayson Waller. So what is this match going to turn into? The match goes on. Cody ends up taking the win. And we have 10 minutes left. And you're wondering, what is going to happen? First off, before we get into that, what did you think of the overall match?
It was a decent match. I think Grayson Waller, when you put him in when he takes, you could tell Cody was calling the match the whole time. You could tell Cody was calling the match. And when you get Grayson Waller in the ring with a veteran like that, that's calling the spots, calling the match on the fly, on the run, Grayson really picks it up. He's very good performer. But I just kept looking at the time saying, there's so much time left. What's going to happen? Something's got to happen. But I know Grayson Waller is not going to be put over. And sure enough, we get the wise man comes out. The wise man, Paul Heyman, comes out. And he starts getting into his promo. My name is Paul Heyman. And when Cody says, no one gives a damn who you are. Oh my God. I knew that we were going to get something. But my favorite line of the night was when Cody Rhodes tells Paul Heyman, Paul, I'm hunting the bloodline.
Yeah.
Mic drop. I'm hunting the bloodline. Paul Heyman, you telling me I can't call out Roman Reigns? You telling me I can't call out The Rock to fight The Rock? You know what? I'm hunting the bloodline. And you see Paul Heyman, just like that picture. First of all, I laughed my butt off when I saw the Brahma bull on the back of the phone. He said, call Rock. call Roman Reigns.
You
I
can
said,
just you
wow.
can splice those calls together. You can call
Yeah.
two people on one phone
Yeah.
nowadays. You don't have to have two phones, Paul.
Ah, Taco. I said, Paul must not know how to use his smartphone because he can take care of that easily, and you can even do it on WhatsApp. You can. Oh man! But Cody gave a great line. I'm hunting the bloodline. Nacho, what are your thoughts, man? What do you think when it's going? We're getting close to Mania. I know we're just, we still have what 2 more days left in the month of February. Then we have 31 days next month, and then we have a week before we get into WrestleMania. So we still got about a little over 50 days. What are your thoughts, though, man? This is something else.
I don't know. I feel like honestly, it sucks that Cody's on Raw, but it also I love Cody on Raw just because of the people he's with. I like him with the people like Seth, but I feel like Cody needs to start showing up on SmackDown because
he does.
I know we talked. I don't know if Roman's going to be. I'm assuming Roman will be on. If The Rock is going to be on SmackDown this Friday, so I'm assuming Roman will be with him. But Cody just needs to start showing up because he can have all the promos he wants to. But he needs to face Roman. They need to start meeting face to face and talking to each other because right now it's just a lot of I heard he said this, whatever. I heard he did this, whatever. I'm liking the build-up. I don't know if the story can hold if he doesn't win this title this year.
Okay, can I run a scenario by you right quick? Can I run a scenario by you right quick?
Hit me with it.
So we all want Cody Rhodes to finish his story, right?
Mm-hmm.
His first night on Monday Night Raw, his first night when he returned and he beat Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, and he comes to Raw. Do you remember what Cody Rhodes said? He showed a picture of his dad, right? His dad had just got done fighting superstar Billy Graham.
Mm-hmm.
It was a disqualification, which did not allow the American Dream Dusty Rhodes to take the title off of then champion superstar Billy Graham.
Yeah.
But what picture did he show? He showed his dad holding up the WWF at that time World Heavyweight title inside what arena? Madison Square Garden.
Was Madison? Cool.
Madison Square Garden. Cody said he's back to complete the storyline. Would you be upset if he loses at Mania, but then maybe at a pay-per-view they go to Madison Square Garden and he finishes the story and wins in Madison Square Garden?
I'd like that. That is what's confusing me because Cody did say, I want to beat you, but not at WrestleMania. And that's the biggest thing that's been tripping me up because he has the match at WrestleMania. So what actually is going to happen then if you don't want to win there?
Because I'm going to tell you something, Nacho. I think that if he doesn't win it at this year's Mania, that window is closing, and I think he loses momentum.
Yeah, definitely.
I strongly believe if Cody Rhodes is not, and it's not one of those things that if Cody, wins at Mania, that we're all going to be saying, "Oh, we knew it." No, it just has to finish now.
Yeah.
But the other thing is that they're talking so much about Roman's history-making moment, history-making reign. The next one on his list is key, but he cannot pass the next person on the list if he loses at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And that next person is probably the reason why people talk about Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
And that's the Incredible Hulk Hogan, the Immortal Hulk Hogan. If he wins at Mania, shortly after that, he passes Hulk Hogan for Hulk Hogan's title reign.
Yeah.
Now, if look at all the things that they can do with this. If he wins at Mania and he's getting close to Hulk Hogan's title reign, they could bring Hulk Hogan in for a segment.
They could.
And he tells Hulk Hogan, I'm passing you up and whatever. They can do a face-to-face with him.
They got The Rock too.
They got The Rock too. But the problem is, I think that they start losing momentum with Cody. And I think the fans, what's going to end up happening is they're going to start turning away from Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Because, okay, we've been backing you up since when you first came to back to the WWE that you beat Seth Rollins. We've been backing you up all through that year. You win the Rumble, you go to Mania. We were backing you up. You lose at Mania because of outside interference. So we were backing you up. The next night on Raw, you get jumped by Brock Lesnar. So we were backing you up. You beat Brock Lesnar. We're backing you up. You end up making your way to the Rumble. We're backing you up. You win the Rumble. We're backing you up. You go to Mania, and you drop the ball again. I think he has to complete the story now. It has to be done. Because next year, people are going to want to finally get Roman and Rock. People want to get Roman and Rock. The bloodline can crumble at SummerSlam. At SummerSlam, let it be Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins versus the bloodline. And in that, we see The Rock turn his back on Roman and becomes the babyface again. Maybe The Rock gave us a hint. The first time he acknowledged, remember, he went like this. He threw up an L for losers. Who knows? Maybe that was a little sign. But people want Rock Roman next year. But Cody has to finish it this year.
He does.
Nacho, he got to finish it.
Because when would they even do the Madison? When would they even do that?
They have a show in Madison Square Garden this year. I think it's later on. I think it's towards going towards the fall.
But is it televised or is it?
It's going to be televised. It's going to be a pay-per-view.
Okay.
But doesn't do nothing. It doesn't. Nacho, it has to be at WrestleMania. That has to be a WrestleMania match. I'm sorry. It has to be a WrestleMania match. I can't see this being a backlash. I can't see this being a Money in the Bank. Cody finishing the story at Money in the Bank. Cody finishing the story at Survivor Series. Cody finishing the story at a Rumble. Cody has to finish the story at WrestleMania. You can, No one can convince me otherwise. I'm sorry. It has to be a Mania.
Unless there's something where I don't even know. He's building up the WWE Avengers right now. He's got Seth on his side. He's probably going to recruit Sammy.
He might end up getting Tongaloa.
Yeah.
There's been reports out there for those of you that don't know that Tama Tonga from New Japan, which is related to the Usos, son of Haku, King Haku, son of Ming, is supposedly signed with the WWE. If that is true, we have another, basically, no bloodline, no pun intended, but another member of the Anowani family coming to the WWE. Cody could start getting his guys together. He could. Do we see Dustin Rhodes come from AEW and come back to the WWE, maybe to be a producer role or an agent? But for storyline purposes, he comes back, in for an on-camera role for a second. I don't know, man. I don't know, but I
would like
feel
to
like
see him
the
at least in
story
the
has to be.
crowd.
What's that?
I'd like to see him at least in the crowd. They always show his mom in the crowd. I'd
Yeah.
like to at least see Dustin in the crowd if he's not part of the network. I don't know. That'd be
Can you
cool.
imagine? It's Dustin Rhodes that causes Cody his moment.
That would be
We finally
crazy.
get to see Cody and Dustin, you know, wrestle each other.
If Cody loses, he's got to whip out his biggest weapon. Something that's been hidden away for a long time.
What's that?
Stardust.
Oh no. No. Please, no. Cody has to finish the story.
He's gotta. Especially with the game. The game is coming out. It's all about finishing your story.
Finishing your story. He has
Chad Gable was going to finish his story.
There you go.
Like there's got.
Chad Gable will finish his story. Becky Lynch will finish her story. Becky Lynch will finish her story before. Bailey. How about Bailey?
Yeah.
How about Bailey? Now, the problem that we're having is that we have too many titles that we think are going to change hand, and I think there's going to be some people that will be disappointed. Bailey is one of those women that I feel that she's not going to win it at Mania, but she'll possibly have a rematch at SummerSlam where she'll end up winning her title at SummerSlam. But there's also Gunther. Is Gunther going to lose his title? We don't know yet. And there's Logan Paul. We want Logan Paul to lose his title. Will he lose his title? We don't know yet. So there's quite a few titles that we don't know. Not all the titles are going to change.
Yeah.
So it's going to be some disappointed fans, that's for sure. What else do we got, Nacho?
That's it for that. I will say, just to last thing, with the titles changing, if they do pair Logan with Randy, I don't see Randy taking the U.S. belt off of Logan. I feel like I don't know.
You think so? You don't think it'll happen?
He's been gunning for a world championship, and I feel like for him to just go for the U.S. title, I don't think so. I think they would leave it on Logan. Maybe Logan loses it if they do match him up with Knight or somebody else at SummerSlam. Then I don't know.
Well, we're definitely going to see what's going on. Right now, you have NXT going on. You have AEW tomorrow.
Yep.
So there's some things that are happening. What's that?
They got their pay-per-view coming up in next week, or is it this week?
No. We have AEW. We have AEW tomorrow. We have NXT tonight. Mm-hmm. There's definitely. Let me tell you guys something. I think NXT is doing a great job in my opinion. They really are doing a good job. I think the storytelling in NXT has. We know that NXT is a developmental. We all know that. Everybody knows that. But that being said, NXT is done really, really well. To me, it's a fun show to watch. Right now, I'm looking at some results of what is going on in NXT right now. But I think some great stuff is happening in NXT for sure. What else you got for us, man?
That's it in terms of the recaps.
Well, to all our fans that have been messaging me on TikTok, on Instagram, on our Facebook page, hey, when is the show coming back? First off, I want to apologize for the long delay. What I had to do was I really had to find someone that I felt was just as passionate about this as I am, and that has the time and availability to be able to put these shows together. When I've known Nacho now for a good while now. I basically almost see him every day. And when we got to talking about wrestling, and I hear his passion, and it's a different passion because it's coming from someone that just recently fell back in love with wrestling after many years of being away from it. I knew that he was going to be the one to be able to help me. And I was extremely excited when he said, "Hey, I want to do it. That'd be great." Um, so once once I got a new tag team partner, once I was ready to go, we knew that, of course, the name of the show couldn't be anything else but what I had, because we already have a following there. And I hope that the ones that have came on and watched it, or the ones that will watch it later on, I hope that you guys still are riding with us. And I thank you guys for all the ones that have reached out and said, "Hey, when is it coming back?" Well, we're back. We're back. We're better than ever. We got new things that are going to be happening. So at this time, I want to take the opportunity, and Nacho, if you could tell our listeners, our viewers, some of the things about the shows, when they're coming out, things like that. Social media.
Yeah, so we are currently planning out our schedule for these shows to be most likely going to be Tuesday and Saturday, depending on our schedules if anything comes up. That way we can do a recap of Raw on Tuesday. We can do a recap of some of the other things throughout the week, and then SmackDown on Saturday. I think our plan, if there is a pay-per-view or something else going on throughout the week, maybe throw in an extra episode in the middle of the week so we can do a predictions video ahead of time. And then in terms of where you can find us, you can find our videos here. I know we have Facebook going. I'm going to try to get Twitter or X and Instagram set up so that we can post regular updates, maybe highlights from the episodes. And then also for X, if there is something with like a schedule change, we can let you guys know ahead of time if there is going to be a schedule change and when we're planning to have the episode coming out. So, yeah, I think unless you have anything else to add about any of that.
Yeah. So in the description below, when this finally goes up and we edit, he's able to add some things, go follow us on our social media platforms. Spread the word. Let them know that the Curtain Call podcast is back. You need to go check out Nacho's TikTok account. He has some amazing videos on there. You can see the other things that he's doing. But we're back full effect. You know that we still got the NWO Curtain Call podcast shirts. We also have it in the red Wolfpack colors. And we have some new designs coming out very soon. We're going to get some things together. You guys are going to enjoy some of the stuff that we're going to be doing, all with the Curtain Call podcast. We're going to have some exciting moments. We're also going to do different formats in a sense where there are going to be some times we're going to record this. We're going to be together, sit next to each other, and maybe a change of scenery every now and again. We're trying to do new things, new wall backings and stuff like that, new fonts, and new just new stuff. We're trying to bring it, from keeping the same essence of what I've done in the past and everything that we've done, but now giving it a new flair, a new flavor, because I have a new tag team partner that is just as excited as doing this as I am. So once again, I thank you all for allowing me, this time to be able to find the proper person to be able to take this to the next level. And believe you me, I know without a shadow of a doubt that I found the right person, and this is just going to be more exciting. We want to do some watching the PLE with you guys live. We want to be able to do something like that, some real time watch parties. And then who knows? Maybe there'll be something in the works where if the views go up from now until then, or maybe for SummerSlam, if we can't make it to Cleveland and SummerSlam, who knows? Maybe we can throw an event where we can have a SummerSlam party and we could watch us, me, Nacho, and we invite you guys out to watch SummerSlam in a theater. Who knows? There's a lot of things that we can do. There's a lot of things that we would like to work on. So get ready, because the Current Call podcast is definitely back. It's gonna go to new places. So we're excited for those things. Nacho,
Also,
what
let
else you
us know
got?
your theories.
Yes.
Let us know your theories, any of what you think is going to be happening, any storylines you want to see. Let us know what your thoughts are on the episodes in the comments below.
Yes.
And also, if you have any input onto some of the things that maybe we didn't pick up on in the promo or maybe in the background. Like, I missed that Paul Heyman was in the background of one of those promos, and somebody was messaging me and saying, "Hey, did you see that Paul was back there?" And I had to go back. I saw. So if you catch things that we don't talk about, make sure you let us know so we can go back and find those things and find the hidden details that maybe we missed out on.
Absolutely. So, make sure you comment down below. Tell us what you think is your favorite. Tell us what your favorite part of the Elimination Chamber was. Tell us what you thought of Monday Night Raw, and tell us where you think, what you think is going to happen at WrestleMania when it comes to Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, and Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. Remember, fans, remember, wrestling family members, that click on the bell so you can get live notifications whenever we go live. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share with your friends and say, "Hey, look what these two knuckleheads are talking about on the Curtain Call podcast." And just have fun with us as we take this ride. New place. Remember, we're not just going to be talking about the WWE. We're going to be talking about AEW, NXT, New Japan, TNA. So tell us in the comments below what you would like to hear us talking about. There's going to be some videos that are going to be very long. There's some videos that might be, just 20, 25 minutes. But we want to make sure that we cover everything that you guys want to talk about. So once again, thank you very much for still coming along with us, being a part of this since day one. So for my new tag team partner, Nacho, it's your boy, the Spanish Fly. Thank you for joining us on a brand new back episode of the Curtain Call podcast with your host, the Spanish Fly, and Nacho. And remember, wrestling family members, that here at the Curtain Call podcast, it don't matter what happens, we always kick out at 2. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Peace.